Today, I'm breaking down exactly why your core fails during overhead movements, how it's holding back your strength, and the 3-step system to fix it for good. Most people think of the core as just abs, but functionally, it's your entire midsection acting like a pressure regulator, keeping your spine stable while the rest of your body moves. Specifically, during overhead lifts, your core has one critical job: to prevent your spine from going into extension as load shifts vertically above your center of mass. If your ribs lift or your pelvis tilts forward under load, your spine becomes the fulcrum. That's a huge problem because your low back isn't designed to handle that kind of stress. Here's what's wild. Most people don't actually lack core strength. They lack stability under vertical load, and that's an entirely different skill set. Because doing 50 crunches or a 60-second plank, that doesn't teach your core how to handle this: a dynamic, unstable load that's trying to pull you out of position. Now that you know what your core should be doing, let's talk about the mistakes that make it fail, especially under overhead load. Mistake number 1, rib flare during the press. As soon as you lose rib control, your spine extends, your abs disengage, and the load shifts to your low back. Mistake number 2, pelvic tilt from lazy glutes. If your glutes aren't on, your pelvis dumps forward and your spine instantly loses its base of support. Mistake number 3, holding your breath wrong. Breath holding isn't bracing. If your pressure isn't going 360 into your low ribs, back, and pelvic floor, you're just blowing up your stomach and losing true core engagement. Mistake number 4, only training your core in isolation. Core strength is specific. Sit-ups and planks don't prepare you for vertical load unless you train the core to resist movement under load. And mistake number 5, overhead without ownership. If you haven't earned the position, loading it just creates dysfunction. Start lighter, fix the pattern, then build strength on a rock-solid foundation. Most of these mistakes have nothing to do with how strong your abs are. They're about how well you coordinate breath, posture, and tension under load. Fix these first, then you'll finally feel your core overhead. Here's what nobody talks about. Your body doesn't just get stronger because your muscles are stronger. It gets stronger when your brain feels safe. If your core isn't stabilizing properly when you go overhead, your nervous system senses that and it automatically puts on the brakes. That means your body will literally weaken your press, reduce shoulder output, and sometimes even create pain signals, all to protect the spine. The core and the shoulder are neurologically linked. When your spine is unstable, your scapula moves less efficiently. That's why instability here can cause pain or tightness here. Your brain shuts down output when it doesn't trust the position. So if you feel weak during overhead lifts, it's not that your core isn't trying. It's that your brain doesn't trust the system. When the brain doesn't trust you, it won't let you go full throttle. Before you do another press, let's find out if your body can even get into the right position without weights. Stand with your back against the wall, heels, glutes, and mid-back all touching. Now try to raise your arms straight overhead without your ribs popping up or your low back peeling off the wall. If this is hard, or you feel your ribs launching forward, your problem isn't strength, it's control. Your brain doesn't trust this range yet. Try this. Half kneeling position, back toe dug in, front foot flat. Squeeze your glutes, keeps the ribs stacked, and reach one arm straight up. If you can't get your arm overhead without arching your back or shifting your weight, your body is compensating somewhere. And that means your core can't stabilize properly under load. If you failed either of those, good news. You found your fix. This isn't about pressing heavier, it's about building a foundation your brain trusts. Let's break down the 3-part solution that'll finally get your core to fire the way it should during overhead lifts. Step 1, train anti-extension stability. This is where we build the foundation. Before you press overhead, your core needs to learn how to resist spinal extension. Start with a dead bug and overhead reach. Brace your core like you're about to get punched. Keep your ribs stacked over your pelvis as your arms move. No spinal motion, just core stability. Then, level it up with a hollow body hold. Tension from head to toe. It's one of the best ways to groove rib control under high load. You can also use plank variations, but don't just hang out in a plank. Squeeze your glutes, pull your elbows towards your toes, and build real tension. That's what carries it over. Step 2, add core demands to your overhead patterns. Start with a landmine press and step through. This teaches your body to stabilize while shifting weights. The load wants to pull you off center. Your core learns to fight back. Next, the single arm kettlebell press with a contralateral hold. Press on one side, hold load on the opposite side. It forces your core to work cross body. That's how you stop those wobbly presses. Then try a tall kneeling band press. Wrap the band around your wrists anchor it in front. It wants to pull you forward. Your core and your upper back have to resist. If you lose the stack, the band exposes it immediately. Step 3, integrate glutes and core together. Start with a half kneeling press and glute squeeze. Before you press, lock in that back glute. It creates a stable base your core and shoulder need to work off of. Then try a lunge to overhead press. You're creating and maintaining tension during movement. It mimics real life because strength is only useful if you can stabilize while moving. And finish with the bear plank to arm raise. This one's brutal in the best way. The core fights both rotation and extension while the shoulder moves. No sway, no tilt, just full body control. That's the fix. Train anti-extension, press with purpose, and teach your core to actually support your spine when you go overhead. If you've been stuck dealing with pain, these are the moves that get you stable again. So if your core feels weak when you press overhead, it's not about strength, it's about stability. Fix your rib and pelvis alignment, train anti-extension, not just abs, load the press without losing the stack, and use movement to build real-world core control. Once your brain feels stable, it stops holding you back. Your press gets smoother, stronger, and more powerful because now your core is actually helping, not fighting you. If this helped, hit save and come back to it before your next upper body day. And share it with someone who thinks their core is strong, but keeps fluttering their ribs every time they press. Comment below what exercise gives you the most trouble and I'll break it down in a future video.